Yeah, I'm always amused when Julian Fantino calls me an interloper. I happen to live almost equidistant between two communities that have been ripped apart by land claim lawlessness, Ipperwash to the west and Caledonia to the east, so that always amuses me when he calls me an interloper. I was up late last night and I started trying to come up with some logical reasons why we came here today. And I had to give up after a couple of hours, and I said I just have to let out my heart. I'm going to tell you why I came here today. And on the 6th line, there's a family with a very special daughter we call Dancer, because she loves to dance. And when I first met 14-year-old Pam, after reading her Road of Hope project that she put out, and I have a few copies if you'd like some, I knew I'd met a very, very special human being. Dancer has to take medication, and she goes to counseling because of the trauma she's witnessed during the Native occupation and the terrorization of Caledonia. She is afraid in her home because the OPP take orders from thugs not to provide policing services to them. We have obtained 1,000 hours of audio recordings, OPP recordings and DCE security recordings that reveal how nearby Native occupiers have interfered with police and ambulance routing down the 6th line. How OPP take instructions from them, how DC occupiers have authorized the shooting of civilians and police officers. It's unbelievable, but it is true. We have the tapes. When I heard Dancer's story for the first time, almost about a year ago, I was angry. I was just filled with rage that any politician, any police officer in this province could go to bed at night without doing everything humanly possible to make that girl and her family feel secure in their home again. It just made me angry. I haven't told many people this. You're about the first to hear it. When I first met Dancer, we recorded a video that we did bring to John Tory and McGuinty when we did a press conference at Queen's Park. I gave her a hat badge. It's a metallic enamel hat badge from my UN beret that I wore for 6 months in the Middle East. And I told her it's my most precious possession, and I said to her, I want you to hang on to this until you feel safe in your home again. And I work on this cause full time. I gave up my career as a real estate broker to work on this full time for the last over a year. And every night I think of Dancer and I ask myself, have I done everything humanly possible to make her feel safe in her home again so I can get my hat badge back? That's what drives me. And some people have said we should go to Queen's Park, we should go to Ottawa. They say that going to Fantino's home is just too personal. You're darn right it's personal. It's personal for me. The man who's abandoned children on the 6th line in Caledonia lives in a nice home, in a nice neighborhood, policed by a real police force. And if going to Fantino's home for a peaceful, lawful protest captures the imagination of just one media outlet and one reporter who writes one story that one reader sees or reads and goes to pick up the phone and call one politician to demand an end of race-based policing in Ontario, then I'm going to Fantino's home. And if I have to, I'll go to Bryant's home and McGuinty's home too. If there is even the slightest chance that it will move us even a tiny bit closer to that day when police cars are rolling down 6th line past Dancer's home, then I'm going. Her right to feel safe in her home trumps Fantino's right not to have a peaceful protest in his yard. It's not even a close call for me. But why does Fantino refuse to talk to us? Why does he arrest us on orders from Native occupiers when we try to hang flags? Why does he deny policing to children? Why does he allow a lawless home-free zone in Caledonia, the same kind of zone that exists in Ipperwash? Why does he allow race-based policing to occur? On March 14, 2007, 2.5 months before the release of the official Ipperwash inquiry report, we went to Queen's Park and we released our Ipperwash Papers project at a news conference at Queen's Park. We released 400 pages of documents that prove The official Ipperwash inquiry deliberately suppressed all evidence of Native crimes against Ipperwash residents before and after the death of Dudley George. Out of 139 witnesses, not a single one of them was a resident. Despite a land claim against their homes that cost them $500,000 to defend, not a single one of them was allowed to testify, other than a single part-time cottager who happened to be across the street while the bullets were flying when Dudley George was killed. Residents got, in an inquiry that lasted 3 years and cost $20 million, the residents of Ipperwash, who endured 10 years of land claim lawlessness, got a total of just 90 minutes with the commissioner on June 21st, 2006 in a town hall project. That's it. The only project on violence against the residents was never published. There was not one seminar on preventing violence against innocent residents. There were 100 recommendations made by the inquiry. Not a single one of them has anything to do, specifically to do with preventing violence against innocent residents caught up in land claims. Not one. And McGuinty and Fantino were justifying their abandonment of Caledonia based on an inquiry that deliberately excluded the residents and all evidence of the crime against them. The people of Ipperwash trusted their politicians to do the right things for them. They didn't protest at the commissioner's home. They didn't confront injustice and assert their rights via peaceful or what they call controversial protests, but they wrote letters. And in the end, they were ignored, and now Caledonia is being ignored. Policing's a provincial responsibility. And until Fantino admits that it's McGuinty that's calling the shots, then we're here. That's why we're here today. So, thanks a lot.
I don't think it's fair to make me follow Mark. I have very little to say. I'm a lifelong resident of Caledonia. I was born and raised there. Actually, I'm fourth generation in the same home, so you could say I have roots there. And I grew up next door to Six Nations. I went to school with a lot of guys, with a lot of people from Six Nations. They were friends of mine. I don't have any issue with the people on Six Nations. I have a problem with the criminals, and I have a problem with the powers that be that allow the crime to continue. I respect the land claims process, but while it's ongoing, and as you may be aware, this doesn't move very quickly, while it's ongoing, law and order has to be restored. Whether this drags on for another 10 years, you know what? I wouldn't care. But except for the fact that there is the law enforcement is very unbalanced during the land claim process, and we have to have a restoration of law and order. We can't. We're decent, law-abiding people. We didn't ask for this. We don't deserve this. And quite honestly, I don't know how long some people who live closest to it, I don't know how long they can be expected to endure it, because their lives have been turned upside down through no fault of their own. We just want Mr. Fantino, I mean, basically, as taxpayers, we provide him with his salary. He's supposed to look after us, and we're just asking him to do that, which I think is reasonable.
Thanks, Doug.
Say that again?
I just received a call to say that Mr. Fantino is over with a number of his officers over in the south side, Tim Hortons in Caledonia.
What do you think of that?
Well, I think pretty strategic move. And I think it's a pretty good indication of what's happening with our community. Time and again, we ask for support. We ask for support from the OPP. And they and politicians seem to make a laughing matter of this. They have not really accepted this as a serious an issue as the people that are being held hostage in our community.
Well, he's gone today, though.
Absolutely, he is gone, which is a good sign, isn't it?
Do you think perhaps...
Maybe he's going to make a wonderful announcement to say that he is in fact going to enforce the rule of law in Caledonia. Do you suppose that's what that means?
What if it does mean that?
I would be elated. I think that would give us the opportunity to perhaps go and meet again and become neighbors with our community, with our Six Nations people, and get back to the way it was 2 years ago before the government got in and made such a mess and made us look so foolish. I think that it would be so wonderful. I know myself as a resident for 37 years, I never thought for 1 minute that I would be facing police and my neighbors in confrontation.
You think it's almost a waste then that you came out here if he's over there?
Not so.
We do what we can do in Caledonia, eh? Right in the lion's den. Make sure you unwind it. The black marker will go to the front. And it just slips in. Just slip her in. Beautiful. Okay. While you're up there, in the second pole. No, that's it. Right there. Now rotate it to the front. There you go. I'm going to hand you up a screw, okay? And a screwdriver. You can secure it. Hold on, it's got to
Now, do you people in the media realize this is an illegal event in Caledonia to hang a Canadian flag in view of the protesters on Douglas Creek? This is an illegal event in Canada, in our community.
There is, right to the center of the black hole right there. What's in the illegal event?
Raising a Canadian flag is an illegal event in Caledonia.
Push the handle to make it go in.
In view of the protesters.
3 people have been arrested trying to do this in Caledonia.
That's right. Let's have a round of applause for Doug putting up a Canadian flag. Way to go, Doug. And it wasn't illegal. Hooray!
You know what? You gotta visit here more often. It's nice to have a certain amount of freedom we don't have at home.
That's right.
Okay, guys. Hey, Marlon. They want to take some more pictures of us all together.
Okay. We're not even going to get arrested for it today, Merlin.
No.
That's perfect, buddy. Okay.
I wonder if Mr. Fantino's putting any OPP signs up in Caledonia.
Hey.
Once again, I'd like to make this profound statement. I put this Canadian flag up, and it was welcomed by the people here. I wasn't arrested. Incredible.
Way to go, Merlin.
Thanks ever so much to the York Regional Police.
Thank you to the York
I
Regional
did
Police.
not get arrested for putting up a Canadian flag.
Yeah.
Incredible. Lovely. Hey. Great stuff.
Merlin. Good job today, by the way.
Thank you.
You did a good job. Thank you. Okay.
Can I help you, sir? My name's John Locker. I'm with the
Oh, are you? Hi,
Yes.
how are you? We were wondering if that was OPP or York.
No, there's no OPP present.
Oh, good. Well,
Just
we
across
wanted to come and thank you very much for.
Thank you. Thank
all
you
right.
ever so much.
Yes, sir. Okay.
We really appreciate it.
Enjoy your day. Drive safe.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
So we're off.
Thank you.